Eastern African countries have increased investment in infrastructure projects over the last 5 years, with Tanzania leading the way in terms of value and number of projects that broke ground in June last year. Tanzania has now surpassed Kenya and Ethiopia in terms of infrastructure projects, recording 51 projects in the year 2020. Tanzania is leading the way in terms of value and number of projects that broke ground in recent years. Improving the transportation infrastructure is a key priority for the government of Tanzania since the nation's roads, seaports, railways and airport infrastructure is critical for the country to improve its trade and commercial activities. The country has also seen tremendous improvements in the energy sector as Tanzania strives to become a middle-income country. Under the leadership of President John Pombe Magufuli, Tanzania saw the implementation of their national 5-year development plan, which aims to promote industrialization for economic growth and human development. In the next part of this video are the top ongoing mega projects in Tanzania. Number 8. Phase 2 of Dar es Salaam Rapid Bus System, also known as DART. The Dar es Salaam Bus Rapid Transit is a bus rapid transit system that began operations on May 2016 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The transit system consists of 6 phases. The construction of Phase 1 of the BRT bus system runs for 21 kilometers from Kimara to Ubungo, ending at Kivukoni. Funds for the second phase were secured in October 2015. The second phase will cover approximately 20 kilometers and is estimated to cost around $160 million. The African Development Bank agreed to fund $141 million for the project, while the remaining funds came from the government. Construction for the project began in June 2019 and was expected to be in operation by late last year. Funding for the third phase was provided by the International Development Association. The construction will take place from Bato to Dar es Salaam city center, including part of Uhuru Road, from Tazara all the way to Carrier Call. Phase 3 construction is set to begin this year. Number 7. Rusumo Hydroelectric Power Project. The Rusumo Hydroelectric Power Station, also known as the Rusumo Power Station, is a hydropower plant under construction with initial planned capacity installation of 80 megawatts upon completion. The project involves the construction of a dam with a run-of-river design. A more expensive 90 megawatts reservoir design had been considered before being abandoned in favor of the 80 megawatts project with a smaller environmental impact and an estimated cost of $300 million compared to $400 million for the initial project. The power station is on the Kagera River along Rwanda's border with Tanzania and approximately 2 kilometers downstream of the Tri-Point, where the two countries share a common border with Burundi. The World Bank announced in August 2013 that it approved loans totaling $340 million for the project. Then in November 2013, the African Development Bank also approved an additional loan of $113 million towards the project. The project is scheduled for completion later this year. Number 6. Dar es Salaam Port Expansion. The Dar es Salaam port is currently being expanded at the cost of $421 million. The expansion will allow the port to receive larger vessels able to carry up to 19,000 containers as of July 2020. 80% of the construction has been completed, and the estimated commissioning of the project is scheduled for later this year. The project will enable the Tanzania Port Authority to increase the container through output to 28 million tons a year from around 20 million tons currently. The port will also be able to handle larger container ships that are more than 304 meters in length from the current 204 meters. Number 5. Mtwara Fertilizer Plant. Tanzania Mbolea and Petrochemical Company, TMPC, is a Tanzanian company that was specifically formed to design, build and operate a fertilizer manufacturing factory in the Mtwara region of Tanzania using natural gas as a raw material. When completed, The plant will be the largest fertilizer manufacturing factory in Africa, with capacity of 3.8 million metric tons of the product annually. The project was supposed to start in 2016 through a joint venture of the Tanzania Petroleum Development Corporation with several foreign funding companies. However, a deal was yet to be struck with the government. The Petroleum Upstream Regulatory Authority said at the end of 2020 that the fertilizer plan that require a potential investment of $1.9 billion was still on. The deal was yet to be agreed upon for the project to finally commence. Number 4. Julius Nyerere Hydropower Project. Julius Nyerere Hydro Power Station is a 2,115 megawatts hydroelectric dam under construction across the Rufiji River in eastern Tanzania. The power station is expected to produce 5,920 gigawatts per hour of power every year. The construction of the $3.6 billion project began in 2019 and is expected to be completed by the end of next year. The dam will be built by a coalition of the Arab contractors Egyptian company and Al Saudi Electric, both of Egypt, and overseen by Tanzanian engineers. In April 2019, the Tanzanian government made an upfront payment of $400 million, representing approximately 15% of total cost of construction. The project is at 40% complete as of June 2020. The 134 meters arched concrete dam is expected to create a reservoir lake 100 kilometers in length, measuring 1,200 square kilometers. With 34 billion cubic meters of water, the dam will be the largest by installed capacity in East Africa and among the largest in Africa, comparable to Egypt's Aswan High Dam. The 2,115 megawatts Julius Nyerere hydropower project is expected to transform the country through generation and supply of reliable electricity for domestic and industrial use. Number 3. HOIMA to TANGA Crude Oil Pipeline Project. The East African crude oil pipeline route is about 1,443 kilometers long. The project is under construction, requiring over 500,000 tons of imported equipment and over $3.5 billion in investment. When completed, the pipeline will be the world's longest heated oil pipeline, running from HOIMA in western Uganda to Tanga port in Tanzania. The government of Uganda selected the pipeline route with the lowest cost yet, being the most robust pipeline layout in Tanzania. The route will traverse 8 regions and 25 districts. Tanzania will get a 60% share of the profits to be accrued from the pipeline transit fees, because about 80% of it lies on Tanzanian land. Number 2. The Tanzania Standard Gauge Railway. The Tanzania SGR is a railway system under construction, linking the country to the neighboring countries of Rwanda and Uganda, and through these two, to Burundi and the Democratic Republic of Congo, as part of East African Railway Master Plan. The new standard gauge railway is intended to replace the old, inefficient meter gauge railway system. The government is constructing the new electric railway line using domestic resources, from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro, and then onward to Dodoma, about 700 kilometers. The whole projects will cover a distance of about 2,707 kilometers with 3 branches from Dar es Salaam to Tabora, then Tabora to Kigoma at 1,251 kilometers. Another branch from Tabora to Mwanza, a distance of 400 kilometers. The ongoing project is expected to reduce time and freight for cargo destined to neighboring countries like Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo. The groundworks for the multi-billion-dollar Tanzania SGR project have been completed, such as the electrifications, culverting, earthwork and bridges by over 80%. Once complete, the Tanzania Standard Gauge Railway project will have cost an estimated $7.5 billion over the next 5 years. The passenger train will have a speed of 160 km per hour, while the freight train will have a top speed of 120 km per hour. Number 1. Bagamoyo Container Port. The Bagamoyo port is a shipping port set to be constructed in Bagamoyo coast of Tanzania. Agreement for the port construction were signed in 2013 and construction was set to start in 2018. However, the then Tanzanian President John Pombe Magufuli suspended a $10 billion Chinese loan on grounds that the terms were exploitative and absurd. Renegotiation with China Merchants Holdings International was later restarted in October 2019, where the late president released a 5-point agenda which included shifting of the 99-year lease to 33 years. The Bagamoyo Seaport project is slated to be one of the largest government infrastructure projects in the country. The port and its affiliated industrial zone is meant to address congestion at the old port and support Tanzania to become East Africa's leading shipping and logistics center.